It's the most well-known brand in the world, the brand of the founding father of the automobile, the brand that has largely dominated Formula One for the last 10 years. Mercedes-Benz, a name respected by all car enthusiasts. Another manufacturer with a unique history and impressive sporting record has been impacting the automotive world since its inception. Let's dive in. Mercedes-Benz, it's the star of brands and the brand of stars. 98 years of success and performance that have inscribed the company in the pantheon of German and global automotive. Yet the three-pointed star has had a life full of twists and turns, and some even say that in recent years it is beginning to suffer from an increasingly less flattering image. Deteriorating quality, fast-changing design, odd partnerships, and a name tied to unsavory matters. This type of incident can severely test a reputation, especially when customer trust is hard-won but easily lost. But Mercedes has survived worse, and its fans will tell us that the brand is eternal, while its detractors predict, despite its popularity, an uncertain future. At a time when the automotive industry's habits are completely disrupted and historical players are challenged by newcomers, will the Mercedes star continue to shine, or is it at risk of joining the list of endangered brands? In this video, we'll explore the tough challenges and bold strategies of the legendary automaker Mercedes-Benz. One thing is certain, no matter your level of passion or automotive culture, you all know Mercedes. The brand sold 2 million cars in 2023, attaining a record year for sales of its flagship products, the Maybach, G-Class and AMG models. This sentence captures the very essence of what he does. Mercedes, a successful automaker whose DNA is luxury, quality and performance. The story starts in 1880 in a small Cannstatt workshop near Stuttgart. Gottlieb Daimler and Wilhelm Maybach founded their company and pioneered the internal combustion engine. Meanwhile, 62 miles away, another genius, Carl Benz, is developing his own marvel, the Benz patent motorwagen, a tricycle considered the first automobile in history. Meanwhile, in Nice, wealthy businessman Emil Jelinek notices a Daimler automobile ad and decides to visit their factory in Germany. Impressed by his discovery, he immediately purchases a two-cylinder Daimler and takes it to the French Riviera. The arrival of this new invention in the streets of Nice triggers a stir that piques Jelinek's curiosity. The businessman develops a strong passion for the automobile, which is in its early stages of development. He orders 36 cars from Daimler and Maybach for an entirely new sports model, with 3 conditions. He can distribute the car in France and the United States with the engine developed by Daimler and Maybach. Daimler named the car after his daughter Mercedes, a name promising a bright future. He died in 1900 before completing the order, but his son continued his work. With Maybach, Jelinek becomes more than just a customer, getting personally involved in the design through regular factory visits. In March 1902, Jelinek's Mercedes 35 dominated the Nice-La Turbie race from start to finish, by shattering the average speed records and peak speed at almost 90 km/h, which is huge for the time. The automotive world is astonished by such feats, prompting Paul Meillan, founder of the Automobile Club de France, to declare, "We have entered the Mercedes era." With its long wheelbase and equal-sized wheels on both axles. One could even say that the 35 laid the foundations of automotive aesthetics by being the first real car in history. But that was just the beginning. In 1926, Maybach, Daimler and Benz merged to form Mercedes-Benz. From there, the brand definitively becomes synonymous with luxury and performance. The three-pointed star emblem symbolizes excellence on land, at sea and in the air. During the bleak World War II era, Mercedes manufactured luxury sedans. For the regime in place, LG 3000 trucks for the army and airplane engines. To cope with the shortage of workers, it resorted to forced labor, using prisoners of war and detainees to maintain its production. After the war, Mercedes-Benz wanted to turn the page, rise from the ashes, return to racing, and redefine automotive luxury. This will be done as early as 300 SL with the wonderful 300 SL, which we will discuss later. Juan Manuel Fangio, the legendary driver, wins the Formula One Grand Prix for 2 consecutive years with his single-seater W196. From there, it's a plethora of remarkable cars, like the 180s, which revolutionized the design of the era by democratizing the bodywork. Ponton's design contrasts with pre-war cars. The egg floss, which caused a sensation in 1959 at the Frankfurt show, or the SL series, which just celebrated its 70 years of career. Mercedes is known for its high-quality cars, but this quality comes with a high price tag. The brand openly targets affluent customers who can afford their vehicles. To afford a car from Ziedelfingen, you need to be in financial comfort. In the late 20th century, financial comfort often accompanied aging. By targeting business and political leaders in the upper classes of society, the manufacturer's conservative approach to the automobile led to a fatal situation, despite their best efforts. Mercedes has become an old people's brand. In the early 2000s, its bourgeois image becomes more appealing compared to the dynamic BMW and trendy Audi. Moreover, the average age of a Mercedes customer is about 60, which is 8 years older than its direct competitors. A disaster for a car brand that relies heavily on customer loyalty. Under the leadership of its mustachioed chief executive officer Dieter Zech, the brand undertakes major rejuvenation efforts to transform the company. Gordon Wagner's arrival as design director helps erase the image of a dad's car. Beginning in 2008 with his inaugural concept car, the 2010 F800, which introduces the brand's fresh design philosophy called sensual purity. He follows up with the 2011 A-Class concept car, which gives the new generation A-Class a style completely different from the minivan look of the original version. A complete identity change, with more organic lines than geometric ones that prove to be profitable. The A-Class appealed to the young and its variations. The CLA and GLA Mercedes bestsellers showcase the brand's new identity across its full lineup. This style transformation leads to a miracle between 2011 and 2017. The average age of Mercedes customers has dropped by a decade, now on par with its competitors. Mercedes-Benz has therefore managed to return to the place that has always been its own in the world of automobiles, but also in popular culture, a symbol of power and success to the general public. The issue with having a successful image and knowing how to engage young people is that you draw crowds, but not always the right ones. Just like at Audi and BMW, there is a whole segment of the clientele that the brand could have done without to avoid bad publicity. Manufacturers are glad to attract new customers, but they also strive to uphold a prestigious image and profit from it. It's hard to go from a boss's brand to a thug's brand. One might think that this is a new phenomenon, but Mercedes has already faced the problem with another type of bandit. The Mercedes 600 quickly gained a solid reputation among celebrities, billionaires, and the powerful upon its release due to its advanced features. Equipped with a 6.3-liter V8, it was designed to surpass everything on the market, offering its occupants royal comfort. Its complex hydraulic system allowed adjusting seats and closing curtains, the ultimate in automotive production of the era. A blend of luxury and power that gained the admiration of influential figures, from heads of state to celebrities like Elvis Presley. However, the watch's image of superiority and exclusivity also drew dictators like Fidel Castro, Tito, or Bokassa, who wore it to symbolize their strength, power, and refinement. A promotion Mercedes would have preferred to avoid, which marked the career of this masterpiece. Designed by Paul Braque, a famous French designer active in the 60s and 70s. Known in the industry for his elegant, innovative style and work on the BMW 6 Series and 5 Series, in 1981, after discontinuing the 600 model, Mercedes had distanced itself from this image, but it quickly became too conservative a brand again. 40 years later, cognizant of its evolving image, the company is attempting to reinvent itself again to avoid association with thug culture. The manufacturer needs to captivate a young, affluent clientele seeking exclusivity and elegance. This strategic adjustment involves updating its visual identity and product offering to reflect values of sophistication, while remaining desirable in a world where customer demands are increasingly high. To keep its top position, the brand is changing and taking big risks, even if it means pushing boundaries. Razor. Design is one of the reasons why the EQE and EQS models did not sell as well as our leaders hoped. Krzysztof Starzyński, Mercedes Vice President of Development, indicated this. The silhouette of the model, with a more monocoque design than the E-Class and S-Class and a shorter hood, contributes to a lower drag coefficient. Who are probably the cause? We had this feedback from customers, and we take it very seriously, Starzyński specifies. Future Mercedes will have to adopt a less streamlined design to appeal to a broader target audience. On September 3rd, 2023 at the Munich show, the CLA concept car was unveiled, designed as an accessible interpretation of desire. For a young and dynamic global market that is supposed to foreshadow the next CLA and the new electric identity of Mercedes? After a new equalizer range release with a mask on the front face, which was still easily identifiable, Mercedes adjusts its strategy and revises its proposal. Despite more conventional three-box proportions, the sight still appears to be slightly misaligned. The problem? Perhaps this internet user describes it best with this simple sentence under the concept presentation video: "This is the most ostentatious car I've ever seen." Well, we have seen worse from other manufacturers and at Mercedes. The topic has been launched. The excess in the position of the Mercedes-Benz three-pointed star emblem on the entire car, from the glass roof to the wheels, through the grille, the rear lights and the headlights, leads us to a concept that Mercedes had not accustomed us to: a serious lack of finesse. Gordon Wagner acknowledges the significance of patterns, particularly the Maybach and the Star, which are utilized as patterns. However, we must use it cautiously and not overdo it. Frankly, there was a bit too much of the latter. And I don't know how that happened, it was a mistake. We put some on the roof, wheels and grille. The grille makes sense, but the others were overused. Overusing it will devalue it, which should be avoided. But what I'm saying is, I've never seen any pattern with Audi or BMW, right? We have strong brand elements we can use, like Louis Vuitton. That's everything. By admitting the error and lack of finesse, he takes a veiled jab at his competitors. But above all, he reveals to us the idea he has in mind for the identity of Mercedes by citing the number one in global luxury, which has nothing to do with the automobile. Louis Vuitton. The French brand is highly profitable due to its status as a luxury reference achieved through its history, iconic products, and recognizable monogram. Mercedes, with its rich history, will follow suit. Strive to attract high-end customers and boost profit margins through innovation and refinement, moving up market. Mercedes' branding is one of the first signs that set it apart from other car manufacturers. With, for example, a ubiquitous serif typography, which plays the card of sophistication. The 2016 Vision 6 concept exemplified style, mastery, elegance, and dream. The brand has advanced its latest concepts through collaborations with high-end streetwear brands. Like the Geländewagen project, this is the first result of the collaboration between Mercedes and Virgil Abloh, founder of Off-White and artistic director of Louis Vuitton's men's collections. The collaboration continued with the all-terrain sedan project Maybach, featuring a unique safari-inspired design, hence the small axe integrated into the door pillar. We then saw a collaboration with urban brand Pala Skateboards for 4 artistic cars and another with the Montclair teddy bear manufacturer. Upcoming projects include a revamped Clash G and a bizarre one-off with William from the Black Eyed Peas. Who would be the weird child resulting from the union between an AMG GT and a Clash G? That the brand calls on designers outside the world of automobiles is not new, and it can sometimes be very beneficial. With all the projects mentioned, we're a bit disoriented. I'm curious to know your thoughts, so please share your opinion in the comments. Even if we want to propose an increasingly exclusive and sometimes extreme vision, we should not. The numerous disconnected projects and shifts in focus pose a risk for Mercedes and other brands aiming to move up market. Because adopting the codes of luxury is above all being able to express an idea. Sindelfingen's brand has made some foolish mistakes throughout its history. We could devote a whole episode to the first Class A, arguably the worst Mercedes ever, to the Maybach Renaissance. Between 2002 and 2013 with the legendary 62 and 57, which closely resembled the Class 16 of the era, the investments had no shared components and were financially draining. Smart investments were also disastrous. Or the recent partnership with Renault for the production of the Class 10 based on the Alaskan pickup and the Citane based on the Kangoo. And the arrival of the engines. A 1.59 quarts DCI engine from the Los Angeles brand is found in A, G, LA, and B classes. Renault's 1.69 quarts DCI diesel block powers the entry-level C-class sedans. A real blow to the prestige of the manufacturer. The problem is that Mercedes doesn't really have a choice but to unite with others, as it finds itself in a delicate position. As a small player, not part of a gigantic group in the far west of the automotive industry, faced with giants whose massive production capacities generate huge economies of scale, the larger groups can afford to reduce production costs. Mercedes, despite its prestige and innovation, must continue innovating and maintaining its excellence in design and quality, but also find cost-effective strategies and explore strategic alliances to optimize expenses and expand globally. Innovation has always been a core value for the brand, bringing us to where we are today. Modern cars feature systems like ABS, electronic stability program airbags, and the impressive MBUX system with its hyperscreen that elevates the interior experience. Toward the future, with a unique proposition, this brand continues to deliver some of the most stunning marvels in automotive history, like the SLR McLaren, which made all the children of my generation dream, and the mythical CLR known for having flown at the 1999 24 Hours of Le Mans, and before that, the flamboyant SSK Control-C from 1930. Above all, the iconic 300 SL with its timeless design remains a masterpiece of engineering that captivates car enthusiasts to this day. At first glance, the 300 SL captivates with its iconic gullwing doors, a daring innovation for its era, which is not just an aesthetic choice as it facilitates access to the cabin, despite the tubular chassis that required a higher door threshold. Under the hood, it features a direct injected straight-six engine. This first for a production car enables incredible performance for its era. To put it simply, the A300 SL is a rolling work of art that embodies the pinnacle of design and engineering of its time, a true delight for car lovers despite occasional puzzling choices in the brand's latest offerings. However, it's good that the latest version of the Myth SL was recently released and that they keep innovating. Ultimately, when a car maker proposes a new style and identity, there's always a risk it will be polarizing, misunderstood, or poorly received. Mercedes has pushed its limits with collaborations and the CLA concept. And it may be a bit lost, but there is merit in going too far once in a while. The brand must continue living by its motto, the best or nothing. Because it's easy for any car manufacturer to get away with an inoffensive design. Mercedes, with its rich history, has the experience to know that it's a losing strategy in the long run. Breaking away from the beaten path requires courage. And that's often where the real evolutions happen,